John McNeal from Friendship Christian has joined us here on our Charley's preseason show. Don't forget Charley's, home of free pie on Wednesday. John, you've had a busy day today. Thanks for being here. You had a junior high jamboree, a lot of kids out at Purtle Field playing today.
Yeah, we 5th and 6th grades what we had, and we had 5 teams: ourselves, Beach, Hendersonville Junior Commandos, and Knox Dawes Station Camp. So it went well. Everybody had a good day. The weather was good.
Good day to play, wasn't it?
It was a good day. So I think it kicked off very well. We start Monday with our 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, which is early, but we finished before fall break, so we have to get all that done. So good day today, and a good way to start everything.
You had I'm trying to think your last scrimmage. Was it Friday night?
It was last night.
Okay, who'd you have?
DeKalb County.
And you were at DeKalb?
At DeKalb.
And they throw it all over the place,
They
don't
do.
they?
Jennings is a very good quarterback, good athlete, and it's good that we're seeing that this last night, and then this coming week we'll see Upperman, which is both of them are no huddle. Upperman is a no huddle, 15 seconds if they can. Even though DeKalb was not as quick, wasn't trying to get plays off as quick. They lined up, try to see what's going on, call, whereas Upperman's just trying to get a play going. So that's going to help, because the first 2 games with Davison, they're a no huddle. BGA's a throwing. I'm not sure if they're no huddle because we haven't played them, but they throw it. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the state. And then the 4th game is Kings Academy. It's got athletes that's going to throw it. So it's a good way for us to get ready.
That has worked out well in your preseason to get some work against the types of games you're going to be playing once the season gets underway. How has the preseason gone for you so far, John?
I've been happy. I think our kids, their attitudes, their work habits, I'm pleased with that. It makes everything a lot easier. It makes it easier for coaches. If they're out there, trying. Now, we've had some days they're sluggish, but that's heat related sometimes. But I love being around the kids when they're, enthusiastic. They're wanting to be there. They're wanting to learn. They listen. So that's been very positive. Our scrimmages, the first one against Maplewood, we always go with Maplewood. Last 4 or 5 years, they've come to us, and it's been a good relationship. Coach Brooms and I are good friends, and their kids come to us, and our parents feed them and take care of them after the game, and it helps us to see a pretty good athletic team, kind of match our speed where we're at with a group that always has speed, and they threw it around too. So first good scrimmage, we felt good about that. Last night we felt good coming away with what we got done from improving the first week.
Did you come out healthy from that scrimmage last night?
We can't. I want to say yes. Spencer Burge kind of strained his back a little bit, so we shut him down early. So I haven't talked to him today, but that's the only thing. Hopefully that's not a big deal.
And Spencer's a guy you expect is going to handle the football a lot. He ran the football for you some last year. He's going to be in that role again this year, I would guess.
Spencer's done in the 2 scrimmages very well. We've gone to a 2-back set to eliminate Mikey from running as much, even though we like him running it, but he's playing 2 ways. We, trying to protect him. So 2-back stuff with right now with about 4 different backs, and Spencer's been one of those that's had a great preseason. He's very shifty. He's one of the all-out speed is not as much as speedy, but as far as shifty and setting up his runs, he's very good at that.
Now, when you say 2 backs, you still in the gun, or do you put Mikey under center?
No, we're still in the gun, 2 backs.
Okay.
And instead of running a cross action and pull, guard and tackle, and Mikey take it, then it's
you've
it's
got that off back, yeah.
Right. So that's kind of what we're kind of looking at.
You mentioned Speedy Fouch, a kid who played, got on the field as a 9th grader last year as a receiver. You're going to line him up in the backfield a little bit this year.
Yeah. He really got a lot of playing time when Hollis went down.
Okay.
And Hollis went down against Webb, and when that happened, Speedy got to run the ball a lot, even though AT ended up carrying it 30, 40 times a game. But that gave him a lot of experience, and he's gotten bigger, he's stronger, he's a sophomore. Speed-wise, he can go. So we expect a lot of big things out of him. He's a big play guy.
You had a good senior class a year ago, not a lot of them, but those guys got on the field, did a lot of good work for you. You got to replace them every year. You got a new bunch stepping up. How is this year's senior class met with the expectations maybe you had for them?
You know, they've led, which I love that. They've gone in there. I've watched some things they've done that I want players to do, whether that's be telling one of the other younger players, hey, get this, do this, instead of a coach doing it. So as far as leadership, I'm very proud of where they're at. They've seen what we've been able to achieve over the last few years. They're seniors. It's their year to lead and do what we need done. So, I'm expecting a lot out of them. We got 11 seniors, and we're hoping that, they can make some big things happen this year.
If there's a strength of your football team, something you think the Commanders can hang their hat on, what do you like that this football team can do?
I'd probably say depth. And usually that's what I don't say.
Yeah.
Almost every coach around will say, we don't have any depth and this, that, and probably a lot of people go, well, that's what you hear every year. I won't say it this year. And that's in the line. Backfield, you can't lose Mikey and Speedy, but, you can't really lose any of those guys, but we have some depth there. But the offensive line is where I'm talking about more than anything. We have a lot of depth there and a lot of kids that we feel like we can play and feel good about winning with.
Couple of seniors, I think, come back from that bunch that played last year, right?
We have Nick Norton will be back. He is a senior. We have Hunter Williams, he'll be a junior, who's a starter, will be back. But you also have Josh Weatherly play. He'll move to center though. So those guys come back with some playing experience.
Who are some of the new guys you'll plug in maybe in that offensive front? And you mentioned that you got some depth, and you may play more than 5 guys in there.
We have Chris Draper, who moved in from Texas. Chris is a young man that be a junior that I was privileged to coach his dad back in, it's a long time ago.
Chris Draper, who was at Heights when Heights folded up.
When I took Friendship's job in '86 the first time,
okay,
that was when Heights closed 2 weeks before the season opened. We got 6 of those kids, and Chris was one of those kids. And Chris passed away this past February. So
did not know that.
Yeah, and he's done him and his wife has done a great job, because this young man is one of the most respected kids we have on our team. He's very he never leaves the locker room coming in and go, thanks coach for today. When he showed up, he just said, I want to go to the school my dad was at. So they moved back here, and I think he'll be a great asset to our team, not only as a player but as a person. So, he's one of them. We've got Luke Smith is working at center too. He's a freshman. We've got Luke Shoulders, who's played the last few years, but looking to help us out in that area. We've got Matthew Skeen, which is the second player. I thought Chris Draper was the first player that I've coached, the dad, now the son, but Skeen is the first, because Kelly was a senior that year in '86. So Kelly and Chris both were seniors, and so those are the first two. Matthew's a sophomore. So then we got Marshall Taylor, tight end.
Yeah.
He's a returner. Should be a big play for us. And then we got Jackson Cherry is also working at tight end with Carmen. So a lot of people in that row that we feel like can help us.
You think back to Draper and Skeen when you first got there. You're like me. You've been doing this a long time.
People ask me all the time when I'm going to retire, and I'm like, I have 3 kids still in college. We still got weddings come up. I mean, I'm not as old as it seems, since when I say
you were a young guy when you started. Yeah.
But when you stay at one school as long as I have, that's when people start asking that. So for all those asking, I'm not retiring anytime soon. Now, if they may ask me to leave, but it's not going to be on my terms. So, but it's I tell people I coach for. I love to see young men. Coach Lowe. I've got 2 on my staff that I've coached, Coach Lowe and Coach Johnson. And watching them become unbelievable husbands. Now, their wives may say different, but I'm going to take up for them. Fathers, that's where I'm the proudest. Not necessarily what they did on the field. They were both good athletes, but what they going to – and watching all of them, Coach Edward, Coach Cavan, now watching Coach Welch be a granddad, the oldest of the bunch. I mean, all of those are the things that I love about the game of football.
Well, and football is a special game. It's not like anything else, and you got to rely on that guy next to you. It's not like golf or wrestling when you're out there all by yourself. It takes 11 guys going in the same direction and a full squad to get things done the way you want to.
I'll be honest with you, Tommy. We talk in our meetings with our players, and I tell them, and I believe this. I believe in our society we've kind of lost a little bit of that, what you get from football stuff, working together, working as a team, relying on each other. I think we've moved in a society where how quick can we get it? We want it now, and if we can't be on top, then we don't want to be there at all. And to have players that, and I'll give you one example, Luke Shoulders. Luke Shoulders has worked harder than anybody. He has not got a lot of playing time. Wasn't sure what he would get coming in this year, and I'm still not sure. But I know up to this point, he's working his way in to get that. And but he just wanted to be a part. He wanted to be a part of his buddies, his teams, and he didn't pout around. He led, and hopefully he's going to pay off this year. So, you know, to me, that's where it's about. It's about, like you said, I rely on you, you rely on me, and we'll be successful. Really more about that than we will about the talent. Because if we all work together, you're going to be successful.
Your schedule has flipped a little in some of your non-region, non-district type games. You've picked up some teams you haven't played before. Talk about that a little bit and that process, filling that schedule out.
Schedule was tough. We opened up with Davidson, which is a non-region. A non-district there in our region. And Coach Quinn's done a great job with them. They're really improving over the years, and they got a good football team. Then we picked up BGA, which we have played in the past a long time ago, but they're in the other region or district, so they're a non-region game. And we picked up, so they're new. We picked up Portland, and I think they're 5A.
Yeah, they're 5A.
And then we picked up Clarksville Northwest, which is 5A.
I think so, yeah.
And then. Of course, we still got Webb, who's won the last couple of years the state championship. DCA is always a very good team, and Kings Academy's coming on. They got a lot of good athletes. In fact, last year I thought skill-wise across the field they were as good as anybody we
really
played. So our schedule week in, week out is going to be tough.
And starting off at Davidson Academy, you know, they've been a football team that's been on your schedule before. You do know a little bit about them. You're in a jamboree, is that right?
We're at Clarksville.
Okay.
We're the only team outside of that. They needed one more team to fill their county's jamboree at Austin Peay.
Pretty good trip.
I knew Arrington, who coached the friendship, and he called me. So we didn't have anything at the time, and I just thought it'd be good. We get to go play at Austin Peay State University. Their stadium has been
completely
really
redone,
nice, and just thought it'd be a good trip for us. You know, we used to go to Columbia, which was a good haul too. Really more so going across town. So
right.
This one hopefully, won't be as bad as on a Saturday night.
Well, and with you playing a jamboree on Saturday, you get a chance maybe to see some other folks on that Friday in their jamborees.
Yeah, we have some plans to go see some people, and hopefully, the thing about the first game is you don't know a lot about. Even though we know the team, you still don't know what changes maybe or personnel. After that, you get tapes. I mean, it
right.
is what it is. I mean, you're going to get tapes on everybody. So after week one, it's not a big issue.
Health-wise, you talked about Burge having a little, maybe a back thing. Has this been a pretty good fall for you as far as injuries have gone and keeping people on the field?
Yeah, it's been good. A lot of people are dealing with the heat.
Yeah.
We've dealt with it by we practice at night. We go at night. The weather's been good at night. We get a lot done. So
you start on the practice field and then you move to the game field. Baseball field.
Okay. We got it marked off in the outfield, so we got lights. We go over there. So it's all worked out well there. That's probably the biggest thing I deal with is I'm always worried about injuries. I mean, it's the one thing I can't let go because, I don't care who you are, coaching. I don't care if you're Bear Bryant or whoever. You better have players and you better have coaches. I mean, that is the facts. And, when you don't have your players on the field, you take any of Georgia, I'll give you a prime example. Georgia is one that has been ranked in the top and talked about maybe even being national champion the last few years. But they lose so many players. They've been jinxed the last couple of years. I mean, a lot of starters.
Yeah.
that go down and it kills you. Well, on our level, we don't have another guy in the backfield coming in like even they did.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you start losing people at our level, and it makes a difference.
I saw something at one of your practices that I thought was really innovative. They call it Shadow Man, and you look it up, folks. Look it up on the internet. Imagine an inner tube with a dummy in it, like the old punchback clowns that we grew up with, and you're pulling that, and that gives you a great tackle target without having a young guy being whipped up in practice, having a scout team guy getting killed in drills, and you're doing some different things with that. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we came across of it. I don't remember. I came across on YouTube. I came across of it somewhere and started looking at it and thought, you know, TSAA has come down with some mandates of how much time you can have, you know, contact during your practice. And our tackling, we still was trying to figure out how we can get better at tackling without just killing each other.
Because you
got
to tackle to be able to tackle.
And in the past, for the last ever how many years, 30, however long I've been coaching, I'd get mad and I'd say, now we're going all out. Right. Every time I did that, every time I got somebody hurt. So this was something I saw. It was I can't remember how many years ago that it was invented by a guy that played rugby in Australia. And the material's made out of what they make out of rafting.
Okay. So it's pretty tough.
Yeah, it has to be. And it has moved over to the States. A lot of colleges, UT uses it. Coach Mike Jones, who does our D-line, which he's done an unbelievable job with those guys. Brings in a lot of experience, but he's also great with the kids. Kids love him. But he saw it at Clemson when he took Mikey up there to see him. They used it. So it's been good for us, and it's not overly expensive. I mean, everything's high, but for right now, it's not too bad. We got 4 of them. Our younger ones can use it. That's a great tool. There's so many different ways you can use it. Like you said, it's a moving target. There's nothing out there that's a moving target that's not another player. So, you know, it can be moving in all directions, and you can work on angle tackling. You can work on, you know, straight ahead. There's just a lot of things you can do with it.
I liked a drill you were telling me about, a linebacker drill. You have a guard block down, and here comes this shadow man. You're pulling it on its harness right at the linebacker, so he's feeling, and he gets the feel of somebody coming at him.
Yeah, you may have another player or a dummy that's sitting there as a blocker where he's got to just, you know, shed it, and then here comes the actual dummy moving at you, not going to something that's stationary. So, and that's good. And I'll tell you another thing: teams that run mid lines or veers or those kind of things, it is great because now you stay on the defense side, you pull it as the fullback's coming through the hole, and that tackle who they're reading can now just go all out. And we've done that drill because we'll face teams that will do that, and that's been a good drill for us.
Football, still blocking and tackling, but how you get to that point is changing, and with all the mandates now on trying to keep kids from getting concussions and that sort of thing, they've limited the amount of contact you can have player on player, but with player on this mobile dummy, you're able to work on tackling just about any time you want to.
You can, and it's full speed. I mean, it didn't wrap it up and that's it. It's full speed to the ground and a lot of reps. You get a lot of reps and a lot of tackling throughout the whole year. And you can do it without pads. I mean, you don't have to have pads on to do it. So.
I wish I had thought of something like that.
Yeah, we all do, and we wouldn't be sitting here.
That's right. Kicking game has changed considerably. You've got to replace some folks in that kicking game. Have you settled on what you're going to do? Kickoff, punt, that sort of thing?
We did some punting yesterday with DeKalb. I mean, I've got 3 guys that, you know, I don't feel uncomfortable with. They're not just, you know, we've got a young one, Green, who is just young and just coming in to try. And I mean, I'm pleased where he's at right now, but he's just young. Got Mikey and Carmen, who are just strong leg guys. I wouldn't call them punters, but I'd call them hopefully catch the meat of the ball, and they're going to get distance with it.
And if Mikey's your quarterback, your shotgun quarterback anyway, then he's back there taking a snap.
So that part I can live with. The extra points bother me. And Will Burris kind of looked to be the head of the class the other day when we had tryouts. we'll see where that goes. We just got to get him some more work. If not, we'll just have to set up a bunch of 2-point plays. But and kickoffs, you kind of work around it too. It's just a matter of getting an athlete and try to, whether it's squib kicks or whatever you got to do to put the ball on the ground hard and make it hard on the other team to field it. I mean, we're just going to have to figure out what we can do with what we have, and that's what coaching's all about. Coach Cavan does special teams, does a good job, and he'll figure it out, and we'll just make it work. The extra points, though, is the one that bothers me, because you can't, other than go for 2, that's the only way you can fix that.
Yeah. John, thanks for the visit. I know you had a busy Saturday. We'll try to get back together at some point during the season and do this again. Charley's has been awfully good to have us out here. Finish up strong in the preseason, and best of luck when you go to Davidson for that season opener.
Thank you, Tommy. Thanks, Charley, for doing this.